We'll start with the prayer. Gangataranga Ramaniya Jatakalapam. Can you follow or hard? Too long? Gangataranga Ramaniya Jatakalapam. Gauri Nirantara Vibhushita Vamabhagam. Narayana Priyam Anangamadapaharam Varanasi Purapatim Bhaja Vishwanatham. So it's called Kashi Vishwanatha Ashtakam. So it's all line, every stanza will have a refrain. Varanasi Purapatim Bhaja Vishwanatham. Varanasi's popular name is what? Kashi. What does Kashi mean? That which shines. Kashate prakashate iti Kashi. How does the whole world shine? The sun illumines it. Who illumines the sun? Your eyes illumine it. What illumines your eyes? Your mind illumines it. What illumines your mind? That's what illumines everything. That is Kashi, okay? It's not just a place. It's all the names of places. Everything is all very significant. So, to the Lord, Kashi Purapati is Lord. To him my namaskaram. Says, Gauri Nirantara Vibhushita Vamabhagam. Shiva is called what? Ardhanarishvara. Vama is left. Left half of Shiva is what? Parvati. So he has got half a body or what? What does it mean? What does it mean? You see Dakshinamurti. You know what Dakshinamurti has? One earring is feminine, one earring is masculine. What does it tell you? Ardhanarishvara. It's Ardhanarishvara. What does Ardhanarishvara mean? It's not about Ardham. Ishvara covers both genders. There is no gender for Ishvara. All genders are Ishvara. How do you show the masculine and feminine are in one place? Two earrings. What is feminine? Prakriti. You look at a child being born, it takes a man and a woman. They may have all kinds of other marriages allowed now, but it takes a man and a woman to have a child. Who is the material cause for the baby? The mother. Prakriti. But independently, she cannot give birth to baby. There is Purusha. Purusha is Purna. The Lord. The Lord is only Nimitta Karana. He doesn't give the material for the baby. But the material is also not different from him. So all that is said when you see Ardhanarishvara. That the Prakriti and Purusha are always together. You cannot separate the two completely. You can never separate Prakriti from Purusha. Prakriti means material. Purusha is the sentient cause for all that is, the knowledge. Then how will you ever see Purusha alone? You can never see Purusha alone without a form, without material. Where do you separate it? Only here. So every prayer is loaded. If we understand Vedanta, every prayer becomes meaningful to us. Vachamagocharam Aneka Gunaswarupam Vagisha Vishnu Surasevita Pada Padmam Vamena Vigrahavarena Kalatravantam Varanasi Purapatim Bhaja Vishwanatham Vacham Agocharam. What cannot be illumined by words, what is not available as the literal meaning of any word. Vacham Agocharam. Aneka Gunaswarupam. He is the very being of all kinds of gunas. There is no guna independent of Shiva, of Ishvara. Vagisha Vishnu Surasevita Pada Padmam. This is the way we talk. Vagisha is who? Brahma. Okay? Vak you can take Saraswati. Tasya Ishaha Kaha? Brahma. Chaturmukha Brahma here, okay? Vishnu is who? Maintenance in charge. Srishti. Brahmaji is responsible for what? Oh, sorry. Sthiti. Vishnu is Sthiti, I'm sorry, okay? Brahmaji is Sthiti. Sorry. Srishti. Getting mixed up, sorry. Words are getting mixed up. So, how do you look at the world? How do you look at anything which comes and goes? It's born, it is, it goes. Where does Shiva fit in? Rudra. Clearance. Right? We call it destruction. Suppose you take this and you convert it to this. What is destroyed? A form is destroyed. The form, does it have any real substance? What's the weight of this chain? It's the weight of gold. What is the touch of the chain? Gold. What is the color of this chain? Color of gold. What is there in my hand? Gold. Where is chain? What is destroyed? But still, you say it's destroyed. And you say what? The chain is born. And right now, it has a precarious sthiti. It exists right now. What is the truth of all this? This birth of the chain, its existence in time now, and when it will become a broken chain or a bangle or something else, what's its being all the time? Is one gold. Applies same to the truth here. There is one truth which appears in a form, in the form of the world. There was no world. You were asleep. There was no world. Then what happened? A dream came. Then what happens? The dream ends. Who is responsible for the dream coming up? Brahmaji. Let's say. Who is responsible for the dream continuing for those few minutes or seconds? Vishnu. Who is responsible for the dream ending? Shiva. How many people were there in your dream to do all this? You alone are. With reference to the birth of the dream, you are called Brahma. With reference to the dream being there, Sthiti, you are called Vishnu. And to the reference to the dream resolving back into you, you are called what? Rudra. Rudra. Normally not Shiva. Rudra. Rudra means Rodayati, makes you cry. When your karma phala demands it. Not otherwise. If you do something mischievous, he will give you back an even coin. No trouble. So now, when all these are but one, I can choose. Oh, Shiva is the Lord. When I say Shiva is the Lord, it means Shiva alone is Parameshvara. Then other fellows become what? His minions. Another place I will say, no, Vishnu is the Lord. Okay, Vishnu is the Lord. Now who becomes minion? Rudra will become a minion. So here, who is being highlighted? Kashi Vishwanatha is considered a Shiva form. Therefore, who becomes lesser? Vishnu and Brahma. Therefore, it says what? It says, Vagisha Vishnu Sura Sevita Pada Padmam. The feet of Shiva are served by Brahma and Vishnu. Means, who are they? They are nobody. That is, if you look at Rudra not as the resolution cause, but the truth of all there is. And you look at Vishnu and Brahma as the role play, as though you're looking at one truth from the perspective of creation. Never think that, there is one Brahmaji sitting there, there's one Vishnuji sitting here, and one Rudra, and they three are working. How will three work together, you tell me? Can there be a creation? This is all I have, okay? Can there be a creation of a bangle without this chain going? Can there be? So, can Brahmaji do his job unless Rudra does some job? And when Rudra is doing, is Brahma doing his job or is not doing? It's all simultaneous. It's not discrete steps really. So, if you wanted to make a child understand that, look, everything is done in an orderly way. There is an order for everything. There is a reason why Srishti happens. There is an in charge. Who is in charge of Srishti? Brahmaji. You can make a play. You can show Brahmaji coming and doing something. All this you can show. If you say everything is Brahman, you can't do any drama, okay? All drama will end. Understand, Puranas have a purpose. It's a larger canvas where you can paint the whole Jagat in a different way. Interesting way. Nothing lost. And still it can be made understandable to everybody. So here, because Shiva is being highlighted, he says they are his servants. The remaining part, Vamena Vigraha Varena Kalatravantam, is the same, Ardhanarishvara, which we just saw. Okay. Bhutadipam Bhujaga Bhushana Bhushitangam Vyagrajinam Baradharam Jatilam Trinetram Pashankushabhaya Varapradashula Panim Varanasi Purapatim Bhaja Vishwanatham. Who is he, Shiva? Bhutadipam. Adhipa, the lord of bhutas. Bhuta can be taken as elements, bhuta can be taken as his gana, bhuta gana, a group of people. Bhujaga Bhushana Bhushitangam. Bhushana is an ornament. It's a Bhushana. What is his ornament? Bhujaga. What is Bhujaga? What is Bhuja? Shoulder. What is Uras? Chest. Bhujena Gachati iti Bhujagaha. One who moves on his shoulder as though, or moves on his chest. What does it mean? A snake, a reptile. What is his ornament? A reptile. What is snake to you? An ornament? Or a source of dread, fear? Fear. If somebody can wear a source of fear as an ornament, is there fear for him? There's no fear. Why is there no fear? Because the snake is not separate from his reality. Abhaya. How will he give Abhaya if he has Bhaya himself? If he is afraid, he needs to call the police. But Shiva is the last word. There is no fear. Why? Because all that is here is one Shiva. So Bhujaga, that's a way of showing that what is a source of fear to me is an ornament for Shiva. Vyagrajinam Baradharam. What does he wear? Vyagrajinam. Ajina is skin. Vyagra is tiger. Vyagrasya ajinam, Vyagrajinam. And that alone is a cloth for whom? One who wears the cloth made of Vyagrajinam. That's Shiva. Why? because at some point he took a tiger probably, which is an asura, killed him and wore it as. That's what they say about Gajasura, Same stories like this. Then, Pashankusha Abhaya Varada Shula Varaprada Shula Panim. What does he have in his hands? Pasha, a noose. Ankusha, a goad by which to poke. The elephant, when the Mahut makes the elephant move, how does he make it move? He has a little thing which he pokes. That's called an Ankusha. Sorry, Pasha, Ankusha, correct. Ankusha. Pashankusha. Third hand is what? Varaprada. Abhaya and Varaprada. Abhaya is this. Don't worry. Varaprada, give. This is his form. Hey, Lord of the whole world. Why he is sitting like this all the time or what? With one Trishula. See, what is Trishula? Trishula. Shula means the spear. Trishula. Three. Trident. Trishula. Why do you need a trident? Because you live in Tripura. What is Tripura? 3 cities. Which are the 3 cities you live in? Waking, dream and sleep world. These are the 3 puras you have, okay? So, he has to puncture all the 3 puras. And what will be left behind? What cannot be destroyed, which is the truth of the 3 puras will be left behind. Who is that? Who is Tripura Samhari, Tripurari? Ishvara. And when you do Tripura Samhara, what remains? Ishvara remains. That is you, not different. You who is the indweller of the waking, dream and sleep is Tripurari. But that Tripurari is the Jnanam, Shiva Jnanam which will do it. So, he is holding Trishula means what? He is holding that by which he can destroy all cause of fear. Jatilam is matted hair. That's, see, the form is for meditation. Really, the form is for meditation. You visualize the Lord in that form. When, see, look, what is this? Gold. What is this? Gold. What is this? Some button. Gold. What is this? Gold. Can you see? What is it? Earring. What is it? Gold. Now, you want to worship gold. You want to look at gold. Which one can you look at? Any one of them is okay. Right? But still, personal, my preference is, let's say, a bangle. Then I can say, gold is in the form of bangle. That is called a form for meditation. You can use any form because every form is but Ishvara's form. That's the beauty of our whole dharma. Every form is Ishvara. You want to worship a cow? Do it. You want to worship an elephant? Do it. You want to worship a horse? Do it. You want to worship a pig? You can do it. There's no problem. A tree, a plant, a stone. What do you want to worship? In which form? Sand? A human being? A child? An adult? A lady? Who do you want to worship? Anybody you can invoke Bhagavan in, because all that is here is only Bhagavan. To be understood. But these stotras are all with that understanding. So, Pashankusha, Abhaya, Varada Hasta and Shulapanim, Varanasi Purapatim, Bhaja Vishwanatham. I will leave it at that today. Okay? Because otherwise I'll spend all the time on that alone. Have some questions to look at. Because today is Pradosham, I thought we will do some Shiva Stotra. All right. Okay. First question. How do we or should we handle societal judgment of our actions, many times unsolicited? unsolicited, we could isolate ourselves to enable sadhana. But then, how can we measure our progress towards becoming Jitendriya? Most of the time, life's priorities are influenced by others around us. To loosen this misplaced, mistaken priorities, we need to face the advice, critique of others. Hence my question. Fair enough. This is something which we all go through every day. How should we handle societal judgment of our actions? Suppose somebody were to call you something which seems ridiculous to you. Suppose somebody were to say, I am obese. What would be my response? If somebody calls me obese, I have to find somebody even thinner than me, that'll be better. Somebody calls him obese. What would be the response? Would you take it seriously? What would you say? Something is not right here for the person who is abusing. All right? When would you respond to it? When you somehow seem to relate to that critique. There seems to be some truth which you buy. You already have, you have that some feeling, and that I am not okay is there. So suppose I feel I'm not good looking, and somebody says, hey, you don't look good. Yeah, I think I don't look good. How do I look better? That's why makeup world does very well. But the point is, there's some part of me which buys the criticism. One. Number two, is the criticism affecting me really, physically? Is it causing me any pain, any difficulty? Look into it. Do I depend on this other person a lot? Do I need some quid pro quo relationship with them? If I need, then I have to keep the person in good humor. This is how we work. Right? If this is not a factor, the third possibility is what? I want to be approved. I want to be looked upon as a good person, as one free from blemishes. I want to be looked up to. This is very common. We all have a need for acceptance, appreciation, non-criticism. We don't like to be criticized. Suppose I were to say, you know what, I'm very stupid sometimes. I just don't think. I'm fine, I can declare that to you. But if one of you comes and says, Swamiji, you're stupid, what will happen? I'll say, hey, who told you I'm stupid? You are stupid. Your father is stupid. That's what will happen, That's what will tend to happen. Why? When I say it, I'm okay. But if somebody else says it, I get defensive. Let's say I'm stupid. Does it matter? That's his view or her view. Can I see that what somebody says about me is their view of me? If you think it's the reality, then you want to justify or defend yourself. If you're willing to say, okay, you think so, all right, may God bless you. Half the pressure is gone. He has a need to make that judgment. May God bless him. Can I say that? Not easy. Takes a lot of growth to be able to say that. And how will you say that? By seeing that, suppose you say he should not say that. Will he stop? Did he ask you first, unsolicited? Did he ask you? Did he ask, should I give you feedback? Do you want to know what I think of you? No. Without being asked, he gives you very generous feedback. And then he has not only feedback, he has views about you, how you live. Why you can't have alcohol in the party? What's wrong with that? It's a good thing. We all do it. You are special or what? Only you stand apart? Why can't you have a drink with us? One drink. Why did you stop eating non-vegetarian food? Why should you stop it? Whether you eat or not, animals get killed. Justification, no? They get killed. Chicken are killed, goats are killed, everybody is eating. If you are eating anything, big difference is going to happen or what? Anyway, we cook for you, we'll throw it. So it's killed anyway. Why don't you eat it? Why holier than us? Why this attitude? What will you tell them? They have a need to say. Sometimes it is better not to respond. If you respond, you will get a counter response. So what should you do? You just smile. What will they do? What will they do if you smile? Maunam is a great tool. If you don't open your mouth, they can't take the case further. It's a great tool, but you should have the ability to maintain Maunam and not get disturbed. They will provoke you. They will provoke. But can you be Saraswati in Maunam? Knowing everything, but keeping quiet. Or say, yeah, okay. They should see that nothing, no use. It's like rain pouring on a stone. Nothing happens. They will let you go. And internally, if you're able to smile and say, this is what these people think, it doesn't matter to me. I am not what they think I am. Then you have space. But if you identify with what they're saying, and you want to be looked up to, you can't keep quiet. Then you'll explain, no, see, my mother told me not to have non-veg. You won't say, I won't have. Because you can't justify it. You don't have a good reason. And the other fellow is very smart in talking. So you will give some lame reason. Won't work. Right? So I'm saying criticism is daily part of the day. It's a part of life, whether you want it or not. Even a person like Pujya Swamiji has to face it. And it's not that, if you're exalted, you won't face it. If you're a leader, you will definitely get it. See all the politicians, they indulge in mudslinging all the time. You have to have a thick skin, buffalo skin. But that buffalo skin can be deliberate, not insensitive. But you decide when to respond. We should know one thing. I cannot change anyone. I cannot control anyone's behavior. What is it that I have a say over? I can't even select situations I find myself in, or the people I find myself in the midst of. What say do I have? Where do I have a say? How do I respond to the stimulus? That's the only place where I have a say, if I have a say over my own behavior. Can I choose to say what I say, or do I blurt out and react? When I react, I have no say. The only place where I have a say, I have lost it. If I can respond, then I choose how I will respond. With a smile, quiet smile, or with a smart answer which will put him in place. See, it all depends on what's your ability, right? You may be able to give an answer which will cut him to size. But that normally is not great, because if you cut him to size today, he will look for an opportunity to cut you to size tomorrow. I mean, you'll always be sparring with each other, compete. Who does better? It's fun at some age and some time where you feel good having put the other fellow down. That's an age. But there is a time when you recognize that this match is a no-win match. Because the more you win, the more you make enemies. And they will all wait for a day to get you. They will. So, one has to choose one's battles. And if you act dumb, means you don't understand or you don't care, half the problem will go away. If you don't respond, half problem will go away. But if it's somebody significant, you may not be able to ignore it completely. Like very significant others in your life, you can't but respond in some way. You have to choose. Understand, that is because of my karma that I have to find myself in that situation. It's not entirely the world to blame. It's a whole host of factors. But where is my choice? In my response. And what is my response driven by? My understanding of myself and the others. I understand the other has some pressure. In his perception, I am like this. I should even examine, is the person right? So suppose a person tells me, you know, you have a short fuse. You have a short fuse. And let's say that's a fact. That before I can say anything, my face is already red and I'm ready to pounce on you. This is a fact. What should I do? I can say, I didn't ask you whether I had a short fuse or long fuse. Shut up. Or I can say, thank you. Point it out whenever you see it. Nothing is lost. The fellow will be disarmed. He won't know what to do with you. But you must have a space to see that he is helping you. I don't remember which book, but somewhere I read, that when somebody abuses you, you thank them. If not loudly, in your mind you thank them. Why? The more they abuse you, the more your ahankara will be kept in check. Nothing is wrong. But I'm saying you don't have to buy all the abuse. The most important is, if you buy the abuse or the comments, then you cannot stomach it. If you can say, they had a need to say so, to the extent it is true, I will respond. And many a time, it's not just the comment, it's where the comment is made. You said it to me personally, I'm fine. You said it in front of 10 others, I'm not okay. So what made the difference? I don't want to look bad to the community. That's a value I have. Can I work against it and say, it's okay? Do you think people remember all the comments about you? Nobody cares, but you feel, in front of everybody he told this. Maybe true, but couldn't you tell me quietly? Why did you insult me? This is our natural way, If you tell me quietly, you're okay. Swamis are not, immune to this disease. If you tell something loudly to a Swami in public, he or she may be very upset. Tell the same thing quietly, it may be okay. Because you're pointing out to Swami where he is not right. So I'm saying every human being has these characteristics, and it's for us to work. But it's a very important area to address. And that is why in the morning meditation, first step is what? Granting freedom to the world to be what it is. And it cannot be done effectively unless you have an understanding of Ishvara as the order. Why everyone behaves the way they do is because there is an order. There is a method to the madness. The other person has his pressure, and if anybody is under that pressure, they will behave like that. And the person may be wrong. I may be wrong about that person. See, all this helps. That objectivity is a great way to tackle a lot of these issues. Okay? If Shraddha in Vedas is already present and constant, what is the role of bhakti? My understanding is that bhakti is necessary for chitta shuddhi. But Shat Sampatti can result in chitta shuddhi, correct? What is chitta shuddhi? What do you think is chitta shuddhi? If focused. Mhm.
So it's the ability to focus with discipline. So it's not a fleeting thing. It's constant.
Can you try putting it closer? When it comes to you, somehow it seems to have a problem anyway. See if it works better.
Okay, can
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah.
So it's the ability to focus constantly.
Uh-huh.
So there is discipline.
Is what you think is Chitta Shuddhi?
I think so.
Okay.
So it's also being selfless. So not having the selfish, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll need to work on this a little more. Okay? Shuddhi means cleanliness. What is unclean about the mind?
Ego.
Everybody has an ego. You cannot work without an ego. You won't ask a question without an ego. You cannot do one thing without an ego. Is that correct or not? Unless there's an I, nothing will work. There must be a functional ego, not a bloated ego. Functional ego is necessary. No question about it. Now, Chitta Shuddhi really means the Ashuddhi is Raga Dvesha. Compelling likes and dislikes. It has nothing to do with the ability to focus. Nothing. Zero. That is concentration. Chitta Samadhanam to some extent. Not Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi primarily is freedom from Raga Dvesha. Freedom means you are not going to act based on your likes and dislikes. You will be able to do what is to be done despite your likes and dislikes. That is Chitta Shuddhi. Now, first part of the question is two words you're using. One is Shraddha, Shraddha in the Vedas, and role of Bhakti. See, Bhakti requires Shraddha. Without Shraddha, there is no Bhakti. Without Shraddha, there can be no Bhakti. What is Shraddha? When you don't know something, if I believe that there is an all-powerful Ishvara and he can deliver the goods, I'll pray. Otherwise, why will I pray? So Shraddha is a prerequisite for Bhakti. What is Bhakti? Bhakti is relating with Ishvara. Bhakti is relating with Ishvara. You can relate with Ishvara as a seeker, wanting security, wanting freedom from trouble. You can relate to the Ishvara as one who wants to know Ishvara, and you can relate to Ishvara as one who you are never away from. All these are relationships. The reality is you are never ever alienated from Ishvara. But that is only known by a Jnani. He is called a Jnani Bhakta. He never ceases to be a Bhakta. All of us are spasmodic Bhaktas. To use Swamiji's words, what is our bhakti? It comes in spasms. In some trouble, bhakti comes. When trouble goes away, bhakti also goes away. What is the reality? You are ever connected to the total. Ishvara should not be looked as one more person. Ishvara is a total which pervades every individual, everything. Therefore, to recognize that lasting relationship with Ishvara is Jnanam. Therefore, bhakti, as we think, somebody says a prayer, or somebody chants something, or somebody lights the lamp, these are expressions that bring out the bhakti. If you did it with a good heart, if you did it to impress somebody else, that is dambha, it is not bhakti. It is dhvajitvam, dharma dhvajitvam. You are showing as though you have a lot of bhakti. Not true. A lot of people are like that, charlatans. They want to show, I am the biggest bhakta. Therefore, what do? You organize one huge pandal for Ganesh Puja. And you have 10 loudspeakers to disturb the whole neighborhood. Is that bhakti? May not be. So, bhakti is really relationship with Ishvara. And that will be there in the beginning as an on and off relationship. Once in the morning, bhakti. Once in the evening, bhakti. Rest of the day, Bhagavan locked up in his room. Locked out from my mind too. That is a good start. But the end has to be what? Whatever is Ishvara. I am a Nitya Bhakta. And that is where we want to be. We want to be seeing that everything is Ishvara and I am never away from Ishvara. Okay? All right. Do sets of Maya exist? One, a general Maya, as in projection of Brahman of energy which manifests in the world. Second, Maya created by an individual based on gunas, limitation of indriyas, manas. I feel everyone creates his or own Maya in order to experience, interact with the world, right? Not right. Wait, I will talk about it later. This is not a topic for 5-minute answer right now. In brief, I'll say one thing to you. Maya is a Shakti of Ishvara. It is not the Shakti of an individual. Maya is what makes Brahman appear as Sarvagya, Sarvavit. An attribute-free Brahman appears as all-knowing, due to which that power is called Maya. Power, any word I use is in trouble. Maya is magic. If you question it, there is nothing but a magician. There is no magic other than the magician. All that is here is Ishvara. You can't understand him, therefore you talk of his magic. If you understand the magician, there is nothing but the magician. If there is one reality which is formless, attributeless, how can you have a world which is drawing its being from that one reality and have so many attributes and so much of variety? How? How can one appear as many? How can subject-object be same, one reality? And if there is only one reality, how come there are some people who are knowing a lot and some who don't know anything? How? The how can be answered if you observe your dream. In your dream, the whole dream is your knowledge. The whole blessed dream is your knowledge. And in the dream, you are a great engineer and you are directing a lot of people. And there are people who don't know anything. The ignorance of the fellow in your dream is also your knowledge. The knowledge that you have in your dream is also your knowledge. The sun, the moon, the stars are also your knowledge. Is there anything in your dream outside your knowledge? But how many realities are there in the dream? There's only you. How do you know? When you wake up, there's only you. Where did all the dream go? It resolved into you. Where did it come from? It came from you. So what is the whole dream but you? It is you. Then how come all this appears? Maya. Understand Maya? More later. This body plus mind complex is in pain. Pursuit of Atma Jnana appears to separate the I from the Upadhi, but the Upadhi is still experiencing pain. It feels like selling a leaky house without fixing the leak. Question is, what obligation do I have to alleviate the pain? If I alleviate other people's pain, it is lokodhara. If you feel a pain and you can't bear it, alleviate it. If you feel a pain and it is coming in the way of what you want to do, look into it. That's correct. Nobody is saying don't look into it. But if you can see that the pain doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the body, mind, sense complex, then you don't have to address it. There's no obligation on you. But it should be clear. The word upadhi is not understood. This fellow, I wear him, this bangle, and I do this. What happens? It gets banged. The bangle gets banged and it gets a dent. Is it hurt or not? Suppose the bangle had a human mind. Is it hurt or not? It is hurt. Physical pain is there or not? It's deformed. But this bangle knows I am gold. Is it dented? Is the gold dented? Is the gold hurt? Nothing, it remains gold. Remaining gold, it was a well formed bangle. Remaining as gold, it's a dented, you know, out of shape bangle. Who should address the problem? Gold or bangle? Bangle. Suppose this bangle knows I am not a bangle, I am gold. What should it do? What does it need to do? It may be happy with a dent. What you call a dent? Upadhi, bangle is an upadhi to gold. It's not a different reality. Don't think there's one reality and upadhi another reality. That's not true. Upadhi is just a way of looking at one reality, one standpoint, one viewpoint. Okay? Okay. Mantra 119 sounds like Yamadharmaraja is concerned, almost fearful, that something inauspicious may happen as a Brahmin guest did not eat for 3 days. But he is a jnani. Is he offering the boon out of fear or he following his dharma? This is 9 means which verse, you know? Hara vaivasvata udakam. And he says, please come, I'll give you 3 boons. Look, there is a jnani also follows convention, generally. A jnani can be iconoclast. They can break all conventions. For a jnani, there is no vidhi, there is no nishedha. But generally, most jnanis would follow the conventions. Yadyadachariti shreshtaha tattadeve tarojanaha. Sayat pramanam kurute lokah tat anuvartate. This is Gita. Arjuna is being told by Krishna, Yadyadacharati shreshtaha. In whichever way a wise man, a person who is looked up to in society, conducts himself or herself, tattadeva itaro janaha. That's how the other people who look up to him behave or try to follow. Sayat pramanam kurute. What he establishes as proper, lokah tat anuvartate. The world follows it. So that will be followed by Yamadharmaraja because he is in a position where everybody watches. If Yamadharmaraja slaps that Brahmana and said, why do you not eat for 3 days? That's what all of us will do. So take it as a convention, take it as Maryada, what is to be done in general. I and you cannot offer 3 boons. We can offer maybe 3 extra rotis. Alright? But essentially the spirit is what? There's a prayashchitta. Okay? No fear. Cannot be fear. He is the source for abhayam. How will he have fear? No fear. Prayer is also a karma. And it is a natural tendency to ask Bhagavan for prayers when we pray. Correct. Does that not mean I am asking to be bound in samsara to enjoy the phalam of prayers? I can't say no entirely. There is some truth to it. There is some truth to it. We'll look into it. With what attitude should one pray so it is not binding? Very good question. I feel I must stop asking. One can only be on one path. To be on Shreyas Marga, prayers has to be 0. Correct. Limit tending to 0. But if you try to do it when you are not ready, it won't work. You cannot drop it until you have sufficient strength. I told you an example. There's a mango plant and a goat can come and chew it up. It won't grow. The plant won't grow. The first leaf that comes, why do you need a goat? You have our dear peacocks here. You know what they do? Every time an auxiliary bud comes out, they come and peck. They won't let the bud become even leaves. The plant will never grow. So what should I do if I want the plant to grow? It can become a huge tree which will let the peacocks nest. But it won't let it grow. What should I do? I put a protective mesh around it. Now what happens? The plant grows. When it's grown sufficiently, you can release all the goats and peacocks and they cannot destroy the tree. So there is a role for a protective time. There's a time for it. There's a place for it. And you know it fully, knowing fully well that this plant needs to be protected for next 2 years. Then you don't need to. I need to water a newly planted tree for 1 year or 2 years till its roots go deep enough. Then what do? You don't care. The tree takes care. Correct? Same way, you cannot say, I will stop praying for prayers. It's hard. But you have to examine. Do you really need to, is this the right prayer? What am I praying for? So you say, how can I pray without it binding you? Bhagavan says, Yajñarthat karmanonyata lokoyam karma bandhana. Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. Any karma done as an offering to Ishvara doesn't bind. What do you mean by offering to Ishvara? Yajñarthat, for Ishvara's sake. Understand, Ishvara is not a fellow who is saying, make me some naivedyam. That is not Ishvara. Today is Pradosha, I need to get special naivedyam. No, that is not Shiva. That is our human business. He needs this naivedyam, that naivedyam, etc. What is Yajñartham karma? Yajño vai Vishnu. Vashyakara will say Yajño vai Vishnu. Yajña is Vishnu. Anything that needs to be done in a given situation is Ishvara. Situation is Ishvara. What needs to be done by a person, right thinking person, is Ishvara. I find somebody in distress with no one to help him is my duty. That is Ishvara. So if I help him purely because it is my due to help him, I don't gain punya for it. Neither do I gain a papa. Yajñarthat karmanah anyatra lokah ayam karma bandhanah. If you do a karma other than because it has to be done, because you want something, some gain or some loss, that will produce karma phala which will stick to you. But Swamiji, I am in a household. Should I not pray for my father-in-law's well-being? You should. Nothing wrong. Nothing's wrong with that. And you let Bhagavan give the result. Swamiji, am I not binding myself, father-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship? You are to some extent. But that's okay. The more you understand Ishvara, the more these things will loosen themselves. Don't try to avoid something or do something or ask for something, not ask something, because you think you should or should not. This word should go away. What should remain should. Sorry. What would remain, I have to correct myself, okay? What's appropriate is you let the knowledge take care. Which means, in keeping with my understanding, I do. I don't have do's and don'ts just for the sake of do's and don'ts. When will my asking Ishvara for prayer stop? When I really understand this prayers is not something I need. I don't need it. If it's crystal clear, I may not ask for it. But suppose I really want it, but I don't ask for it. Where is my mind? I want the lollipop. What am I saying? No, I don't want a lollipop. How will it work? It won't work. That person is called what? Mithyacharaha saha uchyate. Gita is very nice in these matters. He says, karmendriyani sanyamya. Holding your organs of action in check. Ya aste manasa smaran. One who is contemplating with the mind on the lollipop. Lollipop is upalakshana for anything, okay? What is he? Mithyacharasa uchyate. Then who is a yogi? Yastu indriyani sorry. One who holds the indriyas with his mind, but begins action with his karmendriyas. That is right behavior. So your action is driven by your understanding. Your prayers are also driven by your understanding. A prayer is not to avoid a situation or gain a situation. A prayer is to help me accept and respond appropriately to a situation. That prayer cannot bind you. But it's a general prayer. There are situations where we feel we must do something. Prayers, till I have an identification with body, prayers will be needed. What do we pray in, Bhadram karne vishnunuyama devaha Bhadram pashye makshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangai stuštuvagam sastanubhi. Let my limbs be all strong and okay. Let them be healthy. Why? If it's not healthy, I can't even do Shastra Pathanam. It's necessary. You have to take care of your body to that extent. Because body is the sadhana for dharma. Shariram adyam khalu dharma sadhanam. Kalidasa somewhere, I think. It is the first means to perform dharma, to live a life of dharma. Without this body, what will you do? Human body without capacity to do, what will you do with it? It's wasted. So what do you need? Keep this body in good shape. What does it mean? Means I have to work out in the gym every day for 4 hours and show how my biceps are? That is not true. You don't need that, but you do need a healthy body. First I eat 10, 25 puris, then I have to burn it. This is foolishness. You eat what's needed and you burn what is to be burnt. But what is our current thing? You eat on one end and you burn on the other end. So the whole job is what? Calorie load, calorie burn. And then you have an app to eat after a few days. You have an app which tells you what you should eat, how much you should eat. And you follow the app. For 1 year it works at best. Then you lost 8 kilos. You're very happy. Throw the app away. You've controlled yourself so far. In 1 more month, you regain 10 kilos. What's the use of it? It doesn't work really. So there's a balancing involved. Question is very valid. And I'm saying the more we understand our Purushartha, the more we understand Ishvara, the more your prayers will be aligned to what you want. But in general, prayer is legitimate. Prayer for prayers is also legitimate. You will find that already you would find in your life, prayers would have dropped. Prayers for prayers would have dropped. It would have happened. You don't have to ask. I don't have to ask you. I can guarantee that. Because as you grow, you will find that you will not ask for what you don't value. So, the method we try to follow is not to do something by pressure, but do something because you understand it to be right. That won't go away. Okay? Answered? Yeah. After listening to the Puranas, our notion about personified gods becomes strong. And we relate with a particular form. Even visiting a temple strengthens this idea. But I think, if I think about it, how can Yama be a person? How can Yama be a person? Is it not an order, a law which brings things to end just like another order due to which birth takes place? If so, how to stop relating with God as a form? What is the point of having love for a Vishnu statue but not for people, many people around me? Look, we have a human mind. Do you relate well with the formless or formed? What do you relate well with? Forms. You know, Bhagavan Krishna doesn't mince words. What does he say? 12th chapter. Klesho hi adhikataras tesham. Avyakta sakta chetasam. Avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhir avapyate. It is not easy to relate to the formless. Okay? First step, Ishvara is there or not there? For a person who is a non-believer, asti nasti Ishvaraha? Nasti. First you have to say what? Asti. Asti means is. Sanskrit word for is, okay? Is. Ishvara is. What is my view? I am an individual. There are many other individuals and things. And there is a controller called Ishvara. Is that correct or not? Bestower of results, controller of everybody, Antaryami. Right? So, we will see in the Upanishad itself. Bhishasmat vataf pavate. You know? The wind moves, blows because of fear of Ishvara. Ishvara is holding whip and standing, okay? If he doesn't do anything, he'll crack the whip. Out of fear, the sun rises. Out of fear, fire burns. If Ishvara was not there, none of this would be in check. Surya may sleep longer and may not wake up in the morning. This is a way of talking. But what does it mean? That everything is very well set. All right? What is everything? One conscious being. What is Jagat? The knowledge of one conscious being. Are you a conscious being? Yes. Is everything that one conscious being? Yes. Then can I not invoke that one conscious being in any form I care for? I can. Can I imagine an ordinary fellow like me who is all power? It's hard. If I imagine four-handed fellow, it looks better. So you think, Durga, 16 arms, looks even better. She can do so much. One hand can achieve so much. If she had 16 hands, she can do a lot. See, would you like to look at one ordinary looking person and say he must be for something special? Or would you relate better with somebody who has some speciality? This is a tendency, okay? We all look for some peculiar characteristics. So there's some, Ganesha is there, statue is there. A few years ago there was this news. What? When they feed milk to Ganesha, he drinks it. Everybody wants to go and feed that milk to Ganesha. And there are obviously our rational friends who wants to show all this is just nonsense. So they will go and say, we will test which Ganesha drinks, let me find out. To prove that all this is nonsense, Ganesha doesn't drink. Does it matter whether Ganesha drank the milk or not? Does it matter? There is some temple Devi temple, where you put prasadam, you put naivedyam, and you put dress for the Bhagavan. In the morning you find that the dress has been used. Nobody entered the temple. Who used it? Bhagavan used it. And therefore there must be a special presence there. This is a feeling. You go to any place, you will find Sthala Mahima. Common. If there isn't one, somebody will write one. What is Sthala Mahima? In this place, what happens? So anybody who comes and prays will get some results. Like Vishnu Sahasranama Phalashruti, it covers everybody. Everybody has something to look up in Vishnu Sahasranama Phalashruti, yes or no? It's wonderful. If the Phalashruti was not there, maybe you wouldn't be as devoted. Satyanarayana Puja you have seen, people do. What do you find at the end of Satyanarayana Puja? Story. You have to listen to the story also. You shouldn't go without it. Otherwise, Papa will come to you. And what will that story tell you? It's like, our modern day websites will have, what do you call this? No, when people give a feedback about the place, etc. No, review is one word. There's another word also for it. No, I can't remember the word. It'll come sometime later. But the point is, your product or your company's greatness is not told by you. Testimonials, yeah. Client testimonials they'll put. There's another word too, not coming still. Anyway, but you understand what I'm trying to say. So we'll say, this hospital is the best. The doctors were wonderful. The nurses were beautiful. The rates were very low. And they took care of us like family. Wonderful testimony. Another one I look up. Doctors are great. All doctors are able anytime we call them. Great. Right? You read 10 of these. Then what do you think? Must be a good guy. Must be a good hospital. You should go there. That's what you will think. Correct? Reviews you have. Correct. All these are there. Right? So now, why did I get there now? Yeah, Satyanarayana Puja. Correct. That's where I went from. So point is, when you do Satyanarayana Puja, this lady was in great trouble. Her husband had gone for a voyage and he's not going to come back, and everything was going wrong. And when she did the puja, everything got okay. Her husband returned home. Like this, there will be 5 stories. What does it tell you now? It will all happen. So these things are there to make you into a believer, into a bhakta. They have a place. And Satyanarayana is a form. It's not a formless reality. How many formless realities can you talk about? We can talk of many. Like what? The Muslims say our God is formless. Christians also say that God is formless. But they both fight their God is same or not, I don't know. Right? And they're very sure. He is formless, it's a he. They're very sure about that. How do the formless have a gender, I don't know. But that's how they think. And he needs a place to live. A formless entity needs a place to live. There's all complications, okay? But the fact is, human mind relates well with a form. What do I want? I want a relationship which matures into knowledge of Ishvara. And to that you start always with a form. It's a good place to start. The more you relate to the form, the more you're building one relationship. But as you grow, you should be able to expand that one form to every form. It should not be confined to one. If it remains confined to form one, that's when you get the sectarian views, Shaivism, Vaishnavism. What kind of mark you put, like this or like this, 1 or 3. These are all sectarian views. All that is Ishvara. So, valid question about saying, is this Puranas makes form? But forms are very important. It depends on where you are in your own growth. You may not need a form, but there are others who do need it. Therefore, in fact, a form is very valuable to have a relationship. Nothing wrong with it. We don't have to cut out or abhor a form. Expand your understanding to understand. Every form is Ishvara's form, and I have the freedom to relate to a form which brings out my relationship the best. It comes to you traditionally. I may not be able to relate to Kartikeya because we never worship Kartikeya at home. But in Tamil Nadu, it's very common. Muruga, Muruha, that's how it is. They relate naturally. Right? You go to a certain place, Santoshima. You go to another place, it will be some, Sheravali. Whatever it is, that form is what they have heard about and they have Shraddha in it. Do you want to change it? No, drop Sheravali, you go after Jotavali. It won't work, It won't work because Shraddha will need a new start. So you hold on to what you have, and we all inherit forms sometimes from generations. And they will tell you, this is your family heirloom, Your great-great-great-grandfather also has worshipped this Ganesha. Take it. You continue to worship. That form, that little murti would have been worshipped for 10 generations. And it's passed on valuably to one generation. Because that worship form is supposed to have more Shakti. This is extra. But the idea is, a form is useful to relate. And what we need to do is not to drop forms, but to expand our understanding to understand a form is only a form. Okay? Clear? Okay. Last question. May we have an English transliteration for prayer on page 5? Vicky. Is Vicky here? No. Okay. I sent it to Sampath and you. You can, one of you can just put it on the board for her. Okay? Whoever wants that, Namo Bhagavate Vaivasutaya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharyaya Nachiketasecha. That's what she needs a transliteration for. Any one of you who knows transliteration can write it. Okay? Your questions will come when you wake up tomorrow, not today. Okay? ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ